Many people believe that you need an expensive class or a private teacher to learn English. But what if I told you that there's a better way you can learn English all by yourself without stepping out of your door? In this video, I'm going to share 5 proven methods that work for me and you can copy it, do it yourself to achieve the same result. And the good things about that, all of these methods is supported by research and scientific evidence. Make sure to watch until the end of the video because tips number 4 definitely gives you a clear strategy. Let's dive in. First of all, we have to understand that we have to improve 4 main skills in English: listening, speaking, writing, and reading. The trick about that, if you improve your listening, you will improve your speaking as well. They are both working together, which is true for the reading and writing as well. So how we can do that? Tips number 1, surround yourself with English content. One of the main things when you learn English in a different country is surrounding yourself with English content. And we have to do the same things while you're at home. You might think about that, how we can do that, because it's easy to do that if you're in a different country. But at home, there are simple tricks. You can start it with that. First of all, change your phone settings in the English. Simply, when you change your own language into English, you will definitely start to think about in English every time. Because imagine that you wake up and you have your phone and you will see the English words. Or when you have in free times, whenever you check your phone, you will see the English content. This is one of the simplest things that you can do in your daily life. And other things about that, if you watch movie or TV series, try to watch English subtitles because that definitely will improve your English between 15 to 20%. I'm giving you an exact specific number about that because in 2016, there was a research experiment that have been done. And in that experiment, they used one of the TV series is Downton Abbey. And one group, they showed that with English subtitle. The second group, they showed that Spanish subtitle. And the last group, they showed that without no subtitle that. And they find out having the English subtitle in the TV series or the movies definitely to improve your listening skills than without having a subtitle or Spanish subtitle. And the number is that it's around 17% that will improve your English comparing the other techniques. But you might start to think about that. I don't understand English subtitle. That's the common problem. I had the same problem in the beginning. But the way I used to do that, I start to watch the movies that I watched before. One of the movie series that I love is Harry Potter. I watch it in English, I read the books, I love to watch it again all the times. And what I did, I started to watch the English subtitles from the first book, from the first movie, which is The Philosopher's Stone. Even though I don't understand exactly what they are saying that's any words, but I like it. But after a time, when I watched it again, I start to understand that without having a subtitle. Or when I check the subtitle, I start to understand that. You can simply start the movie or the TV series you watched it before. Maybe it's Friends you watched it before, or How I Met Your Mother. Anything you watched it before that you enjoy, try to rewatch it again with definitely English subtitles. And you will see that in the long time, you will improve your listening skills. You will understand the vocabulary or the sentence they are using in the conversation. And after that, you can start to watch the YouTube videos or the podcasts that definitely will improve your listening skills. But the main things, find something you're interested in and you enjoy. And tip number 2, practice speaking daily. In order to improve your speaking skills, you have to practice as much as you can. But sometimes it's not easy to having someone else to talk to every day. Instead of that, you can do the speaking on yourself. And while you're speaking, why don't you record your own voice? You can record about how you feel during the day, or what did you do in the morning, or what happened in the last night. Just record your voice and try to listen again to see where did you make the mistakes, what was the problem in your grammar, and to fix it and do it again. And other things you can do that I talk on this channel is the shadowing technique. Find the movie clips or YouTube videos and try to copy it. Listen how they pronounce this sentence or any words, and listen their stress of the words, and you can simply copy it and improve your speaking skills. And by Oxford University Press, they've been sharing that recording yourself improve your pronunciation, and recording yourself improve your vocabulary and grammar. And one of the tricks about that, you can increase the length of time you speak for. Because when you speak in the native speakers, you will struggle with your express your feelings. Instead of asking that, how was your day? Just saying good. You can say, I was good until this time, but I felt a little bit dizzy because of the weather. And simply you can express yourself more than you imagine. Tips number 3, reading book or articles. Let's check what the Harvard University is saying about that. the relationship among reading, writing, and understanding is clear. And simply they're saying that throughout both approaches, students will gain a better understanding of material and a greater ability to demonstrate that understanding. So simply, reading a book helps you to better write because it will help you that you will see how the word structure, how they use the grammar. But there's a simple problem with that. If you don't understand what is written in the context, you're going to have a problem to carry on the consistency. You will get bored and you will not going to understand that. Our target has to be having a fun and enjoy the process rather than just trying to achieve. But think about a kid. Any kids, when they start to read a book, they never start in some complicated self-improvement or complicated books. They start with simple books, the children books. They start to read it with more images, more pictures, less sentences in those books. Why did it start like this? Because I personally started reading a book with the kids, with the children books. And one of the books that I remember that is A Little Prince. And I read it many different books for children. And after that, I start to read the more complicated books because the language learning is the same. If you don't start with the simple, with the basic, you're not going to achieve that. And after that, like you watch the movie, you try to do the same thing. And to show you my technique, how I did it. As I mentioned before, I used to watch the Harry Potters in my mother language, which is Turkish, and in English, subtitle. And simply, when I started to read the book, one of the earliest books I read it is the Harry Potter. I read it in Turkish language and English as well. And one of the books is that in Harry Potter, Order of Phoenix, which is 800 pages in that book. If you read 800 pages and if you don't understand the context, you will get bored. But simply, I'm not having a problem with Harry Potter. And now, after a long time period later, I'm reading the more complicated books, which is self-improvement or startups. Once you start with something you have in a fun, you will enjoy the process and you will learn along through it. As one of my teachers told me that if you understand the sentence, it's 70%. That's enough. You understand the concept. But if you struggle when you understand the context, some of the words, you might check it. But try not to check each word every time. Try to enjoy the process. If you see some of the words interesting and you want to learn, you just stick a note. Write it down or make a note in the corner of the book and somewhere else. And after that, you learn it. You try to learn these sentences or you're trying to learn these words. Instead of focusing in the simple things, try to enjoy the whole process and start with something you enjoyed that before and do it again. Before we move on to tips number 4, if you want to learn English by yourself, I want you to smash the subscribe button right now. Because in this channel, I'm sharing everything you need to know effectively in English on your own. Now let's move on to tips number 4. Tips number 4, set up achievable goals and track the process. Because if you don't know where you are going, you will probably end up somewhere else. Lawrence J. Pitt. I think so one of the famous quotes to explain the importance of setting achievable goals. One of the best ways to do that using a SMART technique. SMART techniques is from the George T. Doran and simply is saying that be specific and make measurable, be assignable and realistic goals and has to be time related. And clearly you can use that when you learn English. Let's make the example together for that. Your goal has to be specific. Instead of saying, I want to learn English, why don't you just say, I want to improve my English vocabulary related to business or related to food or related to holiday that you want to go. It's all about that be specific what you want to do. And second thing, measurable. You can't simply say that I will learn 20 vocabulary each week. If you want to learn any vocabulary effectively, I made a full video explain to you how you can learn it by yourself. I will leave the link description below. And now let's talk about how we can achieve that. You can simply say that I will practice 15 minutes a day with those new vocabulary. And this goal has to be relevant, what you're interested in, what you want to do, because that will give you more power to do every day. You can simply say that learning business vocabulary is relevant to my goal of working in my company. And last thing, you have to be time measurement. You can simply say that by the end of the month, I will learn 60 vocabulary or 80 vocabulary. It all depends on your goals. Effective way to track this process, just make a spreadsheet to see how many words did you learn it during the month. Last tips, consistency. This is the most important part in order to learn English. without the consistency, there is no way those 4 tips is gonna work. Because thinking about that, you want to go from A to B, and the A to B is at 1,000 kilometers. You can simply go by walking or with the car or with the plane. It's totally up to you. But if you move every day, and you will progress that. This is not what I'm saying, that this is from Cambridge University. And they simply discovered that from A1 to C2, you need at least 1,000 hours to work. Even simply B1 to B2, you need to study at least 180 hours to 2,006 hours. So as you can see from the table, that is simply the amount of work you have to put in to learning English. It's all about you. It's all about how many efforts you put, how many effort you give to learn English. If you spend just 10 minutes a day, that means you're going to learn 70 minutes a week. If it's 15 minutes a day, that's going to make 130 minutes a week. So simply having just 5 minutes extra during the day, that will increase your learning speed and reduce the time that you're going to learn English. It's all about you. It's all about what you want to achieve in your life when you learn English. And don't forget that a year from now, you may wish you had started today. What's holding you? Start today. And let me know, comment in the below, how did it go? Thank you.